faces have proven to be timeless storytellers. Expressions alone can sometimes be the greatest narrators, and when captured, they can translate into exotic forms of art. This is where Aaron Pollock and Steph Kesey make art. They've worked together for 5 years. Both are intrigued by the human face.
It'd be really nice to say that this is effortless and we're just artistes, but we spend about 15, 16, 17 hours a day, probably 7 days a week for the last 4 months.
These are the faces of real people.
Is that one Kelly?
No, this is Mary.
Masks that reflect the scars and wrinkles that real life brings.
You're staring right at this person for, 4 hours or however long. Get to know them pretty well.
The face artists admit they're obsessed.
It's pretty bad when you go to the coffee shop and you're just scoping out everybody's face.
Capturing the character of a person in a wax mask has become addicting.
Well, we just want a thin layer so that we can put the paint in the teeth and any pigment underneath to kind of make the skin look more alive.
And attention to detail,
Sort of an experiment.
even more particular.
This girl had a really great dimple.
Getting here takes hours of work.
Usually they take like 38 hours to get to a place where they look like they have life in them.
And that's just for one mask. Once all is snipped, stirred, and studied,
This is a tool that has developed over many heads.
facial features are copied quickly. Plaster and mold coat the entire face. And after 10 minutes of darkness and breathing through 2 straws,
Count of 3. 1, 2, 3. There we go! Oh my gosh,
the birth of a new mask. They've duplicated almost 100 faces seen in the crowds of Anchorage every day. But this work of art will now turn into another form of art. The masks are about to become even more radiant than they already are.
We plant the colors inside so that maybe like a red will shoot off the top of the head and a yellow off the bottom.
For that to happen, they have to do something most people would never think of doing to a piece of art.
So most of these guys will burn just from the bottom.
The fate of the faces to melt away in a rainbow of color.
Each of the colors is distinct. I don't know, and sometimes crazy things happen, like a chin and lip will unattach itself and fly off in one direction. Whoa!
Nice! But there's a bigger picture to it all. The arson of art becomes the face of a film.
Trying to get the smoke sort of out of the way enough to get a good still.
The melting faces are captured. They rise and fall within minutes.
What comes out of that is a lot more interesting.
What looks so real seems to magically
We
disappear.
want to keep making more, and we have a small studio, so we got to do something with them.
What took so long to bring to life flows into the art of destruction.